Hello children, good morning. Welcome for today's biology class. So today we are going to study the chapter structural organization in animals. So part 1. So in that mainly we are going to study regarding epithelial tissue, different type of epithelial tissue. You know what is tissue? So tissue, it consists of group of cells which is having identical structure and function. So animal tissues can be classified into 4 categories: epithelial tissue, muscular tissue, connective tissue, neural tissue. So today we are going to study regarding epithelial tissue. So here the epithelial tissue, it provides a covering or lining for some part of the body. The cells in this epithelial tissue, they are compactly packed, and the intercellular space, that is the space between the cells, it will be less. They have very less intercellular matrix. Matrix means the fluid substance present in the space, you call that as matrix. There are two types of epithelial tissue are there: simple epithelium and compound epithelium. Simple epithelium, it consists of a single layer of cells. It lines the body cavities, ducts and tubes, there you can see. Compound epithelium, it consists of 2 or more layer of cells and has more protective function. In skin you can see compound epithelium. Okay, so here these are single layer of cells, these all are simple epithelium. Here this is you can see more than one layer of cells are there. So this one you call that as compound epithelial tissue. Okay, so now let us see the classification of simple epithelium. Simple epithelium can be classified into various categories. It can be squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium or columnar epithelium. Okay, 3 types. So first let us see regarding squamous epithelium. Squamous epithelium, it is made up of a single thin layer of flattened cells, so with irregular boundaries. They are found in the walls of blood vessels, air sacs of lungs and all. It mainly that squamous epithelium that is involved in functions. The main function is diffusion. So blood vessel, when it is thin only, diffusion is possible. The exchange of gases is possible. The same way in air sacs of lungs also, when the walls are thin, then only the diffusion of gases, exchange of gases, once again it is possible. So that's why wherever the thin layer is needed, so this squamous epithelium you can find. So this is squamous epithelial cell. Can you see it is flattened and thin. This is cuboidal epithelium, cube like cells are there. Here it is columnar epithelium, as it is having column like structure, cells are there. Okay, because 3 types of simple epithelium are there: squamous, cuboidal and columnar. So when among the columnar they are having cilia, that you call that a ciliated columnar epithelium. So this is also the same diagram, diagrammatic view it has been given here. So all the epithelium, whatever epithelium it is, maybe it is squamous or cuboidal or columnar, so all they are present above a membrane called that as basement membrane, that is the underlying tissue. So on that they will be arranged. So all the cells, they will be touching the basal membrane. When you observe in stratified, the base cells it will be touching, and the other cells, they are seen one upon the another. Sometimes the upper cells, they can be dead cells also in the case of stratified epithelium. Okay, so this is also the epithelium only in this is in different diagram. The same thing, it has been depicted in some other way. This is squamous epithelium, simple squamous, stratified squamous, simple columnar, stratified columnar, simple cuboidal and pseudo stratified. Why it is known as pseudo stratified? So it looks like having more than one layer of cells, but it is having only single layer. Okay, because how can you find out? Because all the cells are touching the basement membrane. In the case of pseudo stratified or maybe whatever the simple epithelium it is, all the cells will be touching. In the case of when you see the stratified layer, so the base cells will be touching, the other cells they won't be touching the basement membrane. From there itself we can find out. Next one, let us see regarding cuboidal epithelium. So, this one, it is having cube-like cells. When the cells are of cube-like, you call that as cuboidal epithelium. The main function of this is secretion and absorption. So, in the case of squamous epithelium, we studied the main function is diffusion. So, cuboidal epithelium, it is helpful in secretion and absorption. Next one is columnar epithelium. So, here the cells are slender and tall. The nucleus are present at the base of the cells. So, mainly you can see this type of epithelium, stomach and intestine. It helps in once again the secretion and absorption. Okay, the ciliated epithelium. So, when the cells they have cilia on the free surface, that you call that a ciliated epithelium. The function of this is to move the particles or mucus in a specific direction. In which direction it has to move, accordingly the cilia it moves and send the particles. It is present in the inner surface of the hollow organs like bronchioles and fallopian tube. In bronchioles, it is helpful if there is any dust particle, it comes inside by means of ciliary movement, it will send out. In fallopian tube, for the movement of egg, so it is useful. Okay. Fallopian tube is the oviduct. So, mainly for the movement of the particle, the ciliated epithelium is useful. Okay. Can you see the cilia above the ciliated epithelium? It is pseudostratified, columnar and ciliated. Pseudostratified means it looks like stratified, but actually it is not stratified. Why? Because all the cells when you observe, they are touching the basement membrane. Okay. So, and they are doing secretion also they can do. Apart from that, the cilia also there. Then the glandular epithelium, when the epithelium it is producing some secretion, you call that as glandular epithelium. So, the columnar or cuboidal cells, they get specialized, the cells get specialized and they produce the secretion. Then you call that as glandular epithelium. The glandular epithelium are of two types. It can be unicellular or multicellular. So, unicellular glands you can see in alimentary canal, enzymes and all secreted. So, that is goblet cells of alimentary canal are coming under this category. So, multicellular glands example salivary glands. So, it is glandular epithelium, unicellular and multicellular glandular epithelium, it has been given here in diagram. Next, the glands are of two types. It can be exocrine or endocrine. Exocrine means the glands with ducts. Endocrine means without ducts. Exocrine, example, secretion of exocrine glands are mucus, saliva, okay, earwax, and apart from that oil, milk, digestive enzymes, all are coming in. They are released to ducts or tubes. The tubes will be there, or ducts will be there, and from there the secretions will be poured. But in endocrine glands, the secretions are directly poured inside the blood or body fluid. Okay. So, and they will reach the site of production. From the site of production, they will reach the site of action. They are mainly, they are very particular in that action, and maybe through the blood it is circulated throughout the body. But anyhow, they will work only at the site, that is the target organ, on that only it will work. Okay. Exocrine means with ducts, endocrine glands without ducts. So, endocrine gland secretions, we call that as hormones also. Compound epithelium, it is made up of more than one layer of cells. It provides secretion against chemicals or mechanical stresses, for that it produces. So, it covers the dry surface of skin, moist surface of buccal cavity, pharynx, inner lining of ducts of salivary glands and pancreatic ducts. Here you can see this type of compound epithelium. Next one, let us see regarding junctions. These epithelial cells are held together by intercellular material called junctions. So, it provides both structural and functional links between the individual cells. Okay. So, here there are three types of cell junctions are there. It can be tight junction, adhering junction and gap junction. Tight junctions, what they do? It helps to stop the substances from leaking across the tissue. it won't allow the substance to leak out. Adhering junctions, it cements the neighboring cells together. Gap junctions, what do? So, they transfer ions or small molecules or sometimes big molecules also, it can be transferred through that. So, tight junction, adhering junction and gap junction, the three type of junctions are there. Okay children, so today we are concluding up to this. So, tomorrow we will meet in the next class. Thank you children.